Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 6 is James T. Kirk's, Paul Wesley, first mission as a starship captain, but Jim's big win came with harsh lessons that will shape his future as captain of the Enterprise. Directed by Valerie Weiss and written by Bill Wolkoff and David Reed. The Zealot Who Ate Its Tail is an action-packed adventure and rich character study that thrillingly evokes and lays the groundwork for Star Trek, the original series. Wildly different from the events depicted in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, 2009, Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 6 is Jim Kirk's canonical first time as a captain in Star Trek's prime timeline. When the USS Enterprise is taken captive by a massive and frightening starship controlled by a horde of intergalactic scavengers, acting Captain Kirk leads the damaged USS Farragut to save Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, and his crew. As it happens, supporting Captain Kirk are Lieutenant Spock, Ethan Peck, Ensign Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, Scotty, Martin Quinn, and Nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush, all future members of Kirk's USS Enterprise crew. Meanwhile, the Starfleet heroes of the Enterprise work to free their starship from the bowels of the Scavengers' dreadnought. Here's how the Farragut and Enterprise won the day and what they learned. The two lessons of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds scavenger villains. Kirk learned empathy for his enemies. Future scavengers in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Following their defeat, the combined crews of the USS Enterprise and Farragut learn the secret of the scavengers. They are human. In the mid-21st century, after the devastation of World War III and before First Contact Day on April 5, 2063, a group of scientists left Earth to explore the stars. Commander Pelia, Carol Kane, a 5,000-year-old Lanthanite, remembered these explorers as the best of humanity. Yet 2 centuries later, the explorers' descendants turned into malicious, ravenous scavengers. These remorseless humans attacked and pillaged countless worlds, consuming starships and their resources, and becoming a feared ghost story. With the scavengers, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds holds a mirror up to us, delineating the dire course our human race may be on instead of the optimistic, Roddenberry Star Trek future that seems increasingly out of reach. The USS Enterprise's crew was forlorn to learn of how the heroic humans eventually turned into scavengers. For Captain Kirk, however, defeating the scavengers meant not seeing them as sentient beings. Kirk's plan to cripple the scavengers' ship ended up killing 7,000 human beings, which left Jim devastated. Kirk's experience against the scavengers is a lesson in empathy for the future captain of the Enterprise, one that will serve him against many future foes, including the Gorn. Captain Pike also shared another crucial lesson about command, that a captain must own and live with their choices. How Captain Kirk's leadership led to the scavengers' defeat. Risk is why we're here. Captain Kirk stunned in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Captain Kirk questioned himself and his risk-taking, but he regained his confidence and led the Farragut to a win over the scavengers. Kirk did so by listening to his makeshift crew and utilizing their talents and expertise, especially Engineer Scotty. Kirk used Spock's parable of the Zealot Who Ate Its Tail against the scavengers. By making the USS Farragut seem like it was full of energy the scavengers couldn't resist, Kirk lured the villains into a trap that crippled the scavengers' dreadnought. This allowed the Starship Enterprise, trapped within, to break free. However, Kirk's bold risk resulted in 7,000 deaths, which is something Jim will have to learn to live with. Kirk remains Lieutenant Commander and First Officer of the USS Farragut, and he assumed the rank of acting captain when Captain Vrel, Zoe Doyle, was injured and beamed aboard the Enterprise. When Captain Vrel is healthy, she will resume command of the Farragut, and Kirk will remain years away from his destiny as captain of the Enterprise. Spock and Kirk began their future Star Trek partnership. Spock gave Kirk the talking to he needed. Kirk and Spock hard talk. Lieutenant Spock rose to the task of reaching out to Kirk during Jim's crisis of confidence. Spock met Kirk when Uhura introduced them in Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 6. Lost in Translation. Thanks for watching.